For the bottom bolts.
Red and black wires, black being the negative, red being the positive. On the actual starter itself, you'll notice the red is on top and black is on bottom. Notice the plastic cap on top of the bolt for the positive and the black going to the ground. Don't mix them up.
When assembling the electronic box back on, you want to make sure you install plugs in the bottom first before you put the bolts back on, because you'll need to tilt out the box in order to attach.
One way, you'll see the knobs that they fit in, pushes up and then twist until it locks.
Bolts top and bottom should be at 20 foot-pounds. The red coil must be evenly spaced all the way down the actual coil wire before it meets the plug. This is to ensure that the magnetic properties that it gives off is keeping the right RPM. Otherwise, it will not work right. Like so.
Positive, looking at the front, all the way to the right battery, with the negative connected to the positive, all the way back on the right side. Battery on the left, positive, goes down to the electronic box and attaches to the positive. Positive and negative cable, there's a male and a female couple, so you can't mistake where they need to go. Positive onto positive. Negative into negative. Good to go. The 200XC. Here is on the bottom, held by 4 bolts, 2 on each side. They are Allen keyed. The fuel tank assembly itself, the line going out to the carburetor, which is not attached right now. There's a plunger that comes down. Brass plunger, and it does not touch the bottom, so when you're in flight you don't want to run it any lower than this line right here. When you're looking with your mirror to the back of the tank to see how much fuel you have, do not run it any lower than this line, or you may run out of fuel and the most unlikely or unwanted incident may occur. Always make sure you have a landing site picked out whenever you're flying, especially cross country.
Broken down, and as you can see, there are 5 parts total. The harness, cage parts 1, 2, and 3. And the main assembly itself, which holds the cage parts and the harness, fuel tank, engine, batteries, and throttle cable. And off to my left is the charger unit. 110 volts, 110, 115, male and female, so you can't get it wrong on how it hooks up. Which you can change, but you need to keep it on 12. Also, the polarity, as I zoom in, should be pushed all the way up. That's the knob on the right that says polarity. As we assemble the cage, we're going to put the right side on first. There's two knobs, polycarbonate knobs, in which this slides right on. Velcro, which is attached to the main frame, comes on the back side first, then wraps around. You'll have to go above the Velcro as you slide it around, and then come down. Pull it tight, and make your final wrap. Bottom one, not so tricky. Make sure we're tight against the other frame, the main frame, and then make your final wrap, like so. Now for the left side, same thing. Two knobs. You'll notice that the intake silencer is strapped to this part, which the intake then gets on the carburetor. There's one clamp that you have to loosen up, slide the rubber piece over the carburetor, and then you're good to go. Same thing on this side. Goes around the back side first. Slide it up in between the gas tank and the main frame. Like so. Same for the bottom. From the back, the Velcro, the two pieces that you'll be attaching, the main frame and the side rails. So we have this that's attached to the main frame. I am then taking the end of this up in between the fuel tank, above it, like so. Pulling that through, then sliding it down. Pull tight, make your final wrap. Now for the top final piece. There are 4 Velcro straps attached to this. This is a little more tricky because you're lining up 4 places on the main frame and also where the main cage is. I try to align these points first, push that down halfway, and then get the cage. Like so. If you have trouble, like I just did, you can see, make sure it only goes on halfway first until you get all the pieces together. The
last thing that should go on is probably the outside pieces. Like so. Now for your Velcro, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very easily. Pull tight, make your final wrap, back up and around, and you're done. And be careful when dealing around the netting not to overstress it. They do tend or will snap if you overstress them. Not a big deal, we do replace them. Always take caution into working around your equipment. Don't force anything, like so. And there you have the whole assembly of the cage put together. Except for the harness, which we're going to show you next. Okay, the harness consists of a couple of different parts. On the bottom, there is this bungee which loops around this part of the frame on the bottom and then comes up and attaches in between this loop before you make your final attachment to the main frame. And you can see 2 points right here on which it goes on. That is important because it actually attaches to your harness, which goes around your shoulder and keeps the unit in its place for when you're going to launch. As for the top portion of your harness, when it attaches to the main frame, this loop will go around and then connect. How it connects is this buckle will turn to the side. You'll turn it all the way to the side as so, and then place it in between. Turn it to the side. Slide it through. Oops. All the way through. Keep working it, and then turn forward and you are attached. Same with the other side. Velcro attaches on the side the same way. There's 2 pieces attached to the main frame. One goes around